In the small town of Ravenswood, nestled between dense forests and rolling hills, stood an ancient high school with a dark history. Centuries ago, the school's water pump had been the center of a mysterious tragedy, and since then, tales of its eerie behavior had been whispered amongst the students. For most, it was just a chilling legend, but for one unsuspecting high school boy named Jake, it would become a haunting reality. Jake was a reserved and diligent student, living in the school dormitory with his close friends Alex and Emily. One moonlit night, Jake woke up to the sound of the water pump in the distance, pumping water seemingly on its own. He felt an unsettling aura around the dormitory, but he brushed it off as his imagination playing tricks. Curiosity getting the better of him, Jake decided to investigate the mysterious pump. As he approached it, the rhythmic sound grew louder, almost as if it were calling out to him. The pump handle moved up and down with an eerie fluidity, as though operated by an unseen force. Fear began to creep into Jake's heart, and he rushed back to the dormitory. As he returned, his heart pounded in his chest, and he found Alex and Emily still sound asleep in their beds. However, a bone-chilling sight awaited him. Hovering just above their sleeping forms were bedsheets floating eerily in midair. The bedsheets seemed to have a life of their own, swaying and dancing as if they were spirits from another realm. Jake couldn't believe his eyes. His mind raced, trying to make sense of the supernatural spectacle before him. His voice trembled as he tried to wake his friends, but they were deep in a mysterious slumber, unaffected by the chilling scene unfolding around them. Fear overcame him, and in a moment of sheer terror he let out a blood-curdling scream that echoed through the empty halls. As the shrill cry pierced the night, a wave of darkness washed over Jake, and he collapsed to the ground, unconscious. The dormitory fell silent once more, the floating bedsheets slowly descending to rest back on the beds. When Jake awoke, he found himself lying on his bed, the sun already casting its morning glow through the dormitory windows. At first he thought it had all been a terrifying dream, but the memory of the water pump and the floating bedsheets was too vivid to dismiss. Anxious and afraid, Jake confided in Alex and Emily about his nightmarish experience. To his surprise, they looked puzzled but sympathetic, as if they had no knowledge of what he described. They assured him that nothing unusual had happened during the night, dismissing it as a result of stress or a bad dream. Despite their reassurances, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. He decided to seek answers from the school's history archives and local town elders. As he delved deeper into the past, he discovered a forgotten tale about a student named Timothy, who had mysteriously disappeared decades ago. According to the old records, Timothy had been fascinated by the water pump and its enigmatic past. He had become obsessed with unlocking its secrets and conducting strange rituals around it. As the story went, one fateful night, the water pump had come to life and led Timothy to a chilling fate, forever trapped in a spectral existence. Terrified by the parallels between Timothy's story and his own experiences, Jake realized that he had unwittingly stumbled upon something malevolent, an entity that lurked within the dormant pump, now awakened by his curiosity. The more Jake dug into the mystery, the more the supernatural occurrences escalated. The water pump's haunting chants echoed through the dormitory at night, and the floating bedsheets appeared with increasing frequency, leaving everyone but Jake oblivious to the sinister presence. Desperate to break the curse and protect his friends, Jake sought the help of a local paranormal investigator, Mr. Hawthorne. With a lifetime of experience in dealing with the supernatural, Hawthorne listened intently to Jake's account and agreed to assist. Together, they ventured to the water pump on the night of a full moon, the ancient artifact ominously gleaming in the pale light. Armed with ancient rituals and protective charms, Hawthorne attempted to communicate with the entity that had taken residence within the pump. As the clock struck midnight, the pump's handle began to move with a force that defied the laws of nature. A bone-chilling voice emanated from within, a spectral cry from a forgotten soul. Hawthorne fought valiantly, chanting ancient incantations and holding his ground against the malevolent force. Jake watched in awe and terror as the intense battle raged on. The air around him thickened with an otherworldly energy. The pump's eerie glow intensified, and the floating bedsheets materialized once more, surrounding them like wraiths. In a last-ditch effort, Jake summoned every ounce of courage he had left and joined Hawthorne in the ritual. Together they managed to weaken the malevolent presence and banish it back to its haunted realm. The water pump trembled and finally fell silent, its dark power vanquished. As the first rays of dawn broke on the horizon, Jake and Hawthorne exchanged knowing glances. They had prevailed against the supernatural force, but the haunting experience would forever remain etched in their memories. From that day on, the water pump stood dormant once more, its sinister past hidden from the students. Jake, Alex, and Emily continued their lives at the high school, forever changed by their brush with the unknown. They knew that the entity might lie dormant, but its presence would always linger in the shadows, waiting for a chance to rise again. In the years that followed, the legend of the dormant pump became a chilling cautionary tale, warning students never to meddle with forces beyond their understanding. But deep down, Jake knew that some mysteries would always elude explanation, and the line between reality and the supernatural would forever remain blurred in the haunting halls of Ravenswood High School.